I think it's important that to bring into this debate that my colleagues would love to solve every crime and serve the public really well. But unfortunately, as your previous callers have said, demand is really high. When you've got officers with 30 and 40 investigations to try and get through and more coming in every day, that creates that unmanageable workload and puts pressure on officers. And if you do any job within the public sector, you want to have that sense of achievement about doing a good job every day of the week, and they're not getting that, which is leading to officers with poor morale. And when we look at the letter to the Prime Minister that the chief officers have sent, it's really disappointing to my members that they've not even mentioned at one point police pay. Yeah. And police officers are taking home a fifth less every year in their pay packet than they did 10 years ago. Officers are leaving us in droves. We have the highest attrition rates in policing since records began. Officers have had enough. And that leads on to the Police Federation campaign, Copped Enough, where we're highlighting the demand that officers are having to meet in the work, the fact that they're low paid, and the fact that they've had enough, they're burnt out. When we start looking at the communities, and, frontline policing element, when chief officers have to make cuts, they make cuts to police support staff currently, which means a lot of my frontline colleagues are taken into administration roles. And now that's the difficult role that police chiefs have to do. Yeah. And it's for them to manage, but it is a difficult time. I think what is really disappointing to my members is the police chiefs coming out. As you've said, austerity has been here for many years, and they're only just coming out to highlight this as a red flag. The Police Federation have been highlighting this constantly, although for many years.
It is worth pointing out, Brian, isn't it? I mean, just by way of context, and because it is true, that over years, crime in so many areas has come down. I mean, burglaries is a terrible clear-up rate for reported burglaries, but the level of burglaries overall has come down quite significantly, actually, in many places, and that has a lot to do with greater household security. It's worth remembering that, because sometimes the fear of crime runs ahead of the reality.
I think what we've also got put into context is crime is diversified. So you will get a lot of more online crime now, where actually it's easy for thieves to target people's computers and scams and take money from their accounts than it is to commit a burglary. Those kind of crimes are very complex and take a great number of officers to investigate. So what we're saying here is crime. We don't get many bank robberies now, but we get large-scale online frauds, which take a lot of investigative skill.
So, look, if it turns out that some crimes are downgraded as a priority, what do you think that's going to mean?
We have to educate the public, and I think the police chiefs are quite right in what they're saying. They're going out saying, there's a red flag here, there's a significant underfunding, and there has been for many years. We need boots on the ground, we need properly paid officers that we can retain and not lose to industry or foreign countries like Australia, where we're hemorrhaging police officers for a better work-life balance. And we've got to look after what we've got instead of having this constant churn. If I can give you one figure, when we have an officer come into the service and we train them, when they leave, it costs roughly £180,000 to the taxpayer because of the training, the advertisement for the job, the equipping them. Then they leave and we get another officer who we then retrain, recruit and retrain. Well, that's a false economy. Why not look after the officers that you've got, and let's retain the talent in this country, in the police service. That ultimately will drive better business for the public, and it will drive better conviction rates and better investigations.